fun. Yeah, not intentionally, but we did. I guess the only real danger of that is if one goes out, you don't know it.
Okay, now we're parked at the hole line and we're getting ready to do a mag check and turn the flight rotor brake off and turn it, make it to pneumatic and put it to flight mode from brake and do a run up. We did that. Run up and then check the mags, turn the extra fuel pump on, and get ready to go. Back in the throttle off, third idle again. And I'll show you a map here in just a few seconds. The throttle has to be adjusted during the pause mode since I don't have my joystick yet, which will allow me to do two things. A, adjust the throttle dynamically, and also to pre-rotate. I can't pre-rotate with just the mouse like I'm using right now. And net result is I have to have a 10,000 foot field to spin the rotor up by manually.
You don't want to do a mag check?
Anyhow, you'll see here, now we're pulling out onto the field. Yeah, they're getting ready to line up here. And then we'll come to a halt. We'll push the throttle to full. And start down the runway. You'll notice if you watch the speedometer, which is right square in the middle under the compass, that we get up to 120 miles an hour before the rotor even starts to turn. And then we pull the stick back, and eventually the rotor gets up. This is a map of Castle, which is the 10,000 foot runway. You'll see I'm taking off to the south. I don't know where the wind is, but I don't have the weather actual turned on. So it's a nice calm morning. I can take off anywhere I want. I'm the flashing orange at the top. Okay, here we go. We're gonna pause here for a second. Go down and turn the throttle on. Okay, it's idling right now. It's not full throttle, but it's pretty much full throttle, and I have to do a real quick adjustment here to get back up and take control with the mouse. We're flying with the mouse, and now we've shut the brake off, and away we go. Notice the speedometer climbing. It's climbing like crazy. We're at 80, 90, 100. Rotor still hasn't moved. 110. Okay, now the rotor's starting to come up. And we're starting to run out of field. Rotor's up to about 100 now. Still going 120 miles an hour. Okay, now we're creeping up 150. This is rotor RPM. 180, 200. 200, it lifts off doing 120 miles an hour. Usually takes about 250. Now the rotor RPM jumped right up to 300, so we're going to fly from here. Okay, I'm going to go silent here, and we're going to fly over to Merced, do a touch and go there. Merced Municipal Airport. Merced dead ahead, backing throttle off for descent, gradual. And this is the bad part about having to pause. Now we're back in control here, coming in at Merced. Notice my approach speed. I'm descending at 1,500 feet per minute, but I'm going 100 miles an hour. So I'm not descending now, I'm only descending about 500 feet per minute. Slowly dropping down about 750 altitude right now. Runway at Merced is, I think, 170 something, or I don't remember. But maybe 190. 190 is Castle. So this one I think is 172, something like that. I'll check that someday. Anyhow, we're coming in, got pretty good line up here, nice glide slope. Down to about 250 feet. Now I'm going to have to kill the throttle here in just a second, so there'll be another pause. So right about here we pause, scroll the screen up, and then we'll see the throttle, and we can grab the throttle and shut it off because we've made the runway. We come back up, make sure I got mouse control, and then turn the pause off. And here we go. Now we're settling down 200 feet. Pull back on the nose a little bit. Let her set down. There we go. Nice set down. Now I have to push the throttle back up again to do a touch and go. So anyhow, click the pause off again, make sure I got mouse control, taking off. You notice the rotor stayed up around, I didn't let the rotor decay, so it's up about 300, takes off, 50, 100 feet. So anyhow, that was touch and go number one. Okay, we're going to adjust the throttle back to a cruise RPM. That's the thing, this thing flies unrealistically. It'll do 120, which it won't really. Engine RPM can run up on 8,000 RPM, which for a real Rotax 914 it would blow up. Real non-turbo boost is about 5,500, 5,600 sometimes. And with a turbo boost get up to about 5,800. That's about the red line. Okay, we're gonna head back towards Castle for some fun. turbulence there. Early morning, I had the real weather conditions turned on. Wasn't me, wasn't a shaky mouse, wasn't too much coffee. Okay, notice we're doing 110 miles an hour. We're dropping down. Elevation at this runway is 190. And we're at about 230, 225. Gonna get down really low, stay right above the runway. We're about 210 right now. And we're doing 110 miles an hour according to the speedometer, which is 5 miles under VNE. It's about the max cruise speed. Now we're down about 205. Maybe close to 200. No, 205, I'll give it. Okay, now we're at 200. Just a little touch there. Maybe that was 190. Pull back up. And we're going to do a UE here, and then I'll show you some fun. Correction here, I didn't do a UE this time. That's on the next pass. What I did is I'm headed out east, crossed over G Street, headed north now. Gonna do low pass over Lake Yosemite, which is the reservoir for Merced. So I'll shut up here for a minute until we get down to the low pass, and I'll give you an altitude. Okay, here we go. Coming in on Lake Yosemite, about 300, 250. Well, hold it at 250. We can get down a little lower here, I think. Yeah, let's get down a little lower. Let's drop her right down on the deck. This is about 200, 210 up over the trees. This is not really a body of water. It's just on the simulator map, but it's not really there. It's not really a reservoir. Okay, we're circling back. Pick up a little altitude here. Slowly, and then we'll cruise back to Castle, I think is where we're going on the next thing here. Okay. coming up on runway 12 at Kessel. Gonna do a low pass here. Maybe, I think this is just a low pass if I remember correctly. Yeah, down to about 225. Dropping down onto the deck. Again, elevation here is 190. Ah, look at a 747. We'll have to harass him a little bit. Okay. Cruising about 230 here, which is about 40 feet above the runway. Okay, gonna climb out a little bit here and make a sharp right-hand bank. This is a huge tarmac at Kessel. Not Kessel, Kessel. Okay. There's that 747. We're gonna have to see if we can get him right down on the deck and pull it over. Try to clear that 70-foot tail. Yeah, I'll take another look here in just a second. Gonna bank around. Slowly. Maybe a little steeper. Yeah, I gotta get a little bit of a turn in, about a 45. To rebank. Okay, now, there he is again. Got no end number on this tail, so he can't get me. Yeah. Better watch that tail, don't want to take that out. Okay. That's it. Let's go back to, I believe we're going back to Merced Municipal Airport now. Come into Merced Municipal for the, I believe this is a landing, actually. Got the throttle, got the runway made. 400 feet. Or 300 feet, excuse me. 250. 225. 200. Touchdown. Applying the brakes. Notice the rotor RPM is still holding due to the momentum of the rotor, the mass. Full stop. Do a UE here. Want to take off. Going 30 north. Still have about 200 rotor RPM. Throw the throttle back open. Get control with the mouse again. There we go. Back on the center line. Okay, up to 70 miles an hour. 80, 90. Here comes the end of the runway. Let's better get off the ground, I guess. So here we go. Pull back. Notice the climb rate. We're 1500. Climbing like crazy. Thing really, you won't climb at 1500. About 900 is about the best this ELA will do, I think. That's, I'm not even sure that's one pilot or a passenger, or I don't know what it'll do with. Maybe it'll do 1,000. But it's not realistic. This thing, you can pull it back hard and go on 120 miles an hour and get it up to 2,000 feet per minute climb, which is not realistic. Nor is the 120 mile an hour speed that it's claiming to be right now. Power line, dead ahead. Pulling up here, gotta get over the top of the power line. Yeah, 400 will make it. Yeah, there's the power line right there. It's about 350, somewhere around there. Okay, now I'm gonna bank to the left. Go down, head towards the tarmac. We're gonna land on the tarmac. Screw the runway. But tarmac's bigger than most runways. Longer, actually, at Castle. So anyhow, here we go. Coming in, dropping down on the deck, down about 250. Holding the throttle pretty back. Cruise speed. Okay, now we're coming in about 250, about 60 feet over the ground, over the old B-52 landing squares, staging squares. Okay, so right here I got to pause, drop the throttle out so I can land. Come on, let's drop the throttle out, grab a hold of that throttle. Any moment now. Yeah, there we go. Now we're back. Back to idle speed. Okay, let's see if we can touch down on the runway here. On the tarmac, excuse me. Tarmac, okay, here we go. Down on the deck, there we go, pretty close, pretty close. Yeah, touchdown so smooth you didn't even see it. Okay, rolling over here, still have rotor RPM. Gonna pause, kick up the throttle again, and we'll take off on the runway. Naturally, you couldn't do this in real life, nor could you buzz a 747 in real life and get away with it anyhow. You might get away with it since you don't have any tail numbers. But not advisable. Don't do this at home, kids. Okay, throttle open again. Undo the pause. Hit it. Airspeed picking up. We're going to lift off here any second because we're up to about 200. Pull the stick back just a little bit. There we go. Push your nose down a little bit. Stay over the runway or the tarmac. Yeah, now we're up about 60 feet. Do a bank climbing turn. Climbing turn, come on, pull up, pull up. Buzz the car there. Okay, so now we're going to bank to the right, come back in, do a low pass over the runway maybe. I guess what we're going to do. Not sure what we're doing here. We're at good altitude, about 500 feet. Bank her hard, there we go. I'll line up on those lines. Touch her down. Got 10,000 feet of runway, so you can play quite a bit here. Excuse me. Anyhow, dropping down. 300. 250. Still going 118 miles an hour. 210. 205. Level flight. 30 feet above the runway. 115 miles an hour. Do some gentle back and forth over the runway here. Just exercising a little control. A little altitude there. Oh, back up. Okay, now we're over the end. Stay low. Go out over the end of the field here. Now we're out over the weeds. About 220. 225 maybe. Pick up just a little bit. Got a power line coming up here. Let's see if we can fly under the power line. How's that sound? I don't know. Those wires are dipping down pretty far. You'd have to be right on the deck. Screw this. Okay, hopped up to 500 over there. Anchor back around. Come in and land this time. We'll call her a day. coming in about 250, letting her drift down. Just drift down slowly. 210, level off. We're going to land about halfway up the field here. We've got 10,000 feet, so we're just kind of staying over the runway at about 205, 210. Kind of flying down the runway. It takes a long time to taxi in this thing. Anyhow, that's it for today. Going to take and back the throttle off so I can land. There we go. Go ahead and unpause it. Grab control again. And here we go. We're going to go down. There we go. Touch, little bounce. Let her touch again. Start applying the brake. There's a taxiway coming up here. Any moment. On the left. Here we go. Here we go. Threw the brake on. Down to about 18 miles an hour. Okay, we're going to park here and I'll apply the rotor brake. The rotor brake on your thing right down is in the lower left-hand part of the screen with the big white gauge. It's a pneumatic air brake and trim on this one. Okay, so I hit the brakes. There we go. Reach down, you'll see the switch flip. There we go. Rotor brake on. Watch for the shadow at 1 o'clock, and you'll see the rotor come to a stop, perfectly lined up fore and aft. How about that? Okay, the rest is kind of boring. We're just going to taxi around here and find a house to park by. And not that I own the house, but at least I'm just going to show you that you can, kind of my version of an air park, which is not really. There's no residence, permanent residence on the base. Or they call it Castle Air Park now. So anyhow, that's it. Checking for traffic here, looking left and right so I don't get run over by that 747 when he's taxiing down the taxiway. Okay, looks clear. No buses, no trains, no airplanes. Okay, that's it for today, guys. Yep, that airplane was still up there. Looked like I didn't check, but too fast. Okay, let's go over here. We're going to jump off of the taxiway onto a city street. And then we'll pull up in front of the house, do a UE, pull up in front of the driveway or next to the driveway and power it on. Shut off the mags, master, etc., fuel pump, blah, 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 blah. Talk to you later. Have a good day.
That's all, folks.